Oh my God, if I die, I'm a legend. When they lay me down to rest, I know I was always repping. Oh my God, my whole life.
Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy FizzyG here, and recently I downloaded Dirty Bomb off of Steam. For those who don't know, Dirty Bomb is a free-to-play PC, very fast-paced class shooter, and I've invested a large chunk of my life into it thus far, and I've slowly grown in love with this game, but at the same time, annoyingly frustrated with it. I suppose the reason I find myself so frustrated with this game is that it has such potential, but it has a tendency of getting in its own way and blocking its path to being a breakout stellar game that it could be. So in this video, I wanted to go over a few things I think the devs of the game should at least consider implementing and or changing. Now, don't get me wrong, I love this game and it's some of the most fun I've had since I discovered TIF2, but I just think that there are a few things it could do that would make it much more accessible and a great game. Seeing that the game is still technically in beta, these are all changes that could happen, so without further ado, I'll get into them. My first qualm has not that much to do with the gameplay, but rather the infrastructure of the game. For me, a big problem with Dirty Bomb is the way it pays for itself. The way that the game makes money, being that it is free to play, is one of two ways. You can either pay for cosmetic benefits, which I am all for, or you can pay for the mercs you play as. The game offers a rotation of 3 different mercs every 2 weeks. If you want to play as a merc that you don't currently have or isn't in the free rotation, you have to grind scrupulously for XP and coins, which you can then pay 50,000 coins per merc, which, by the way, is a very steep price. Or you have to cough up $10 and buy the merc. It's a frustrating mechanic because this practice perpetuates boredom within the game. When I play the game continuously, I get tired of playing with the same 5 mercs constantly, and I want to change it up. But I can't unless I cough up $10. I'm not about to pay that ludicrous amount, so I decided to close the game because I am officially bored. This issue gets less intrusive the more hours you put into the game, but as a new player, it is extremely frustrating, and I'm sure it stops a lot of potential new players from sinking more time in the game. My suggestion to fix this is a charge up front $15 fee for the game. I mean, the game is good enough that it'll stand on its own if they charge money for it, and when you buy the game, have all the mercs come already unlocked. If that $15 rate isn't enough, you could do what Valve did with CSGO and utilize those cosmetic items, as there are a few cool ones in the game, make it like a marketplace and use the cosmetic items to your advantage more than the developers currently are. Another really big issue is one that's so simple to implement, it just frustrates me to no end that it hasn't been added to the game yet. Simply put, the ability to play games with your friends is not possible. Okay, that's not exactly true, but it's true to a point. The game allows you to make lobbies with friends when you're playing ranked matches, but when you want to play any other game mode, there is no way to make a lobby and play with friends. The workaround to this is to try and find servers that have enough slots open for all of your friends and to try and all connect to it at once and pray to God that some random knucklehead doesn't connect to it while you guys are all trying to get on at the same time. In my opinion, this is a serious mistake, as the workaround is extremely tedious and you can spend 20 minutes trying to get the right server for all your friends to play on. And this is a serious mistake, as playing with your friends is not only what makes makes a lot of games fun, but it can be an aspect that keeps you attached to the game. It's a simple equation. People still playing the game means more money for the devs, so it really shouldn't be too much to ask for to implement something that pretty much every other multiplayer game ever has. In the same vein as this, another small technical issue that really bothers me is that when people leave competitive matches, the teams are left unbalanced, resulting in 5v4s, 5v3s, or sometimes I've even been on the receiving end of a 5v2. It's a tad ridiculous that the game doesn't even try to at least replace the teammates which have left with bots. Again, something that pretty much every other competitive multiplayer game has done. Furthermore, the game should be actively discouraging players from abandoning matches, like the way CSGO will issue competitive bans. Well, as Dirty Bomb does this every so often, the bans are menial numbers, like quite literally a 5-minute ban. My next issue with the game is the aesthetic of the maps. Now, I recognize that the story of the game is that it all occurs in a bombed out London, and that kind of places a limit on what kind of maps the developers of the game can make. But as it stands, every single map are the same grayed, brown, bombed out buildings with no real variation. Don't get me wrong, I mechanically love the design and gameplay of the maps, but the aesthetic that has been basically reused for every single map is starting to rub on me. I get that it's difficult to come up with varied environments when the game is set in a metropolitan area, but there's things you could do to work around to create different environments into the game and still have it make sense in the context of the story. For instance, you could have a foresty tree map by having it set in a park, or you could have a beach setting, considering Britain is an island. I don't know, I just think that the same old bombed out buildings has been slightly overdone in the map pool that the game currently has, and could really use some variety. This ties in somewhat with my next idea, and that is to add in a few different objective modes. The current game modes are more than fun and enough to keep me busy. However, if you want to retain players long term, you're going to need to keep people busy and coming back for more. Well guys, that's all for now. I hope no one misunderstood my intentions with this video, as currently Dirty Bomb is one of my favorite games. I just think it has some room to improve. For my CSGO fans, I'll have some more CSGO content out later this month, but in the meantime, stay fizzy my friends. This is FizzyG, and I'll see you on the flip side.
Wait! Don't forget to subscribe!
I can't